Music is a universal language and it can take you to unimagined places. At times, music leads us to love and bring together people from different origins. In this series of interviews, we have been showing you people from this island, some born here and others that fell in love with the land or a special someone. Paul Jiménez is an example of the last case. He migrated to this land and fell in love with literally a Caribbean queen.
Okay, so my name is Paul Jiménez. I was born in Bogota. I was born 44 years ago. I studied business management, and while I was working on my internship, I found a way to do my internship in Providence Island. So I worked with an ecotourism project in Coralina, back when Arnie was the coordinator for Providence. That was in 2002. That's when I started living in the island while I worked on my project, and that's where I met my wife. She was one of the candidates for the queen, for the beauty pageant in the carnival in 2002, and that's when I met her. And shortly after that, in 2003, she went to live in Bogota, and after that we moved together and we got married, and we've been married for, it's going to be 18 years. Since I was in school, I was always part of the choir. I was the only man in the choir, so I used to learn a bit about singing and all that stuff, and I always like it. And back then I also learned to play a little guitar. While I was in Providence, one of my good friends was Johan Peñalosa, the director for the band, and at that time he was working with Ayla Bash, and when it was over, he said he was going to start a new group, and he invited me to be a part of the group, and that was in 2018.
Paul is now living in San Andres after Hurricane Iota forced him and his family to move out. Paul is grateful with all the beautiful islanders that gave him a hand when he first came to the island, and even now that tragedy hit the homes of him and all the people in Providence.
There's a lot of influence in the Caribbean music that comes from the United States, and when I was growing up, I had a lot of that from my father. So I followed artists like Kenny Rogers or Jim Reeves, and then when I came around here and I started listening to some of this music, it was funny because I identified with a lot of it. So besides reggae and souk, which are things that I really like a lot, I also started understanding that part of what I had grown with was also here. So there was a lot of folk in my, like we have a song called Yellowbird, and Yellowbird is a song from a man named the man's title is Whitaker, and Kepe from Providence made his own version, and it's a well-known version. So the first time I heard that song from Kepe, I was like, but I've heard this before. So and a lot of those things happen. The Brothers Four, which is folk, they sang a lot of songs that Harry Belafonte sang as well. So those were the influences I had, and I found that it was very, very interesting. And I found out that the first thing was that whenever you had a meeting with a corporation or with the government or anything, they wanted to do it in Spanish. And I never understood why. So the first thing I tried to do was whenever I had a meeting that was part of my internship, I would do it in English. And I gained a lot of respect from the people, because it was like, okay, this guy is the Paña guy, but he's actually respecting the language. It's my life. It's my life because this is where my wife is from and part of my family. I know that I am from Bogota, and that I don't forget, because I never forget that part. But I understand that the situation and the way things happen around the island makes it hard for people around here to keep fighting and defending. Small things that people don't understand, like the way we take care of the waste. We always leave that organic thing for the pigs, for the hogs, so that go around there, yeah. We always have good care for the water, so we don't waste water. And we know we have the little ponchera if you wash the dish. All these things they're small things that is part of the culture that when you come start look at it and investigate about it, there's a lot of good reason behind it. I don't know if the elders did it that way because of them reasons, but we learned it that way, and I even I as 26, 27 years old, I learned it that way, and I have to respect that, and I have to show my children that they have to follow that too. You know, the way we treat the food. This is slow food. Now it happens that there is a terminology around the world that speaks of slow food, and so it happens that Providence has had slow food and San Andres slow food for all its history. So this is slow food. Is thing that is well thought. You prepare it, and you also use it as part of the social interchange. Yesterday I gone by Jobsas, and I see some musicians from here. Them they do a little practice, and when I get there, they have a little rondon, and that was Tuesday evening, you know, and they share a little plate, and it's funny because I carry a little hot pepper for him, and I gone by some liquor from him. And so you see the whole thing. I carry some homemade pepper, I go and get some liquor, and I eat some rondon while making music. So it's all this is a very intense cultural exchange that you cannot deny, and you have to defend it, and you have to fight for it. So every word you say and every action you take, you have to work towards that. That is important.
For his respect to island people and its values, Paul Jiménez is our guest today on Our People.